Is this thing on? Yeah, goddamn it. Yeah. Let's get it, mom. Let's get it. Not, you know what I'm saying? We got to get in the zone. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the zone. Oh, shit, Twitch. What up, Twitch? I'm out here. What up, Twitchers? Shout out to YouTube. We out here on Twitch, YouTube right now. Yo, so it's all rhymes. And today I just felt like giving you guys an update on the Diddy trial. I know it's been overbearing, but some people have not really tuned in to like what's been going on. I've been tuning in every day, but I haven't streamed about it every day because so many people are doing that, right? So many people are streaming about Sean Diddy Combs' case every day. So I figured this particular stream would be just a quick wrap up. I made a whole little list from day 1 to day 25. It's a 25. It's kind of extensive, but it's like just like like 2 or 3 bullet points each of them, right? So I'm just gonna keep it simple for y'all, so y'all can know what happened each day. Still not making an opinion, but if I had to like roll the dice, I would say Diddy's not in the worst shape that I thought he was gonna be in. And that's just me being honest. I really don't know what's going to go on. Like, you know what I mean? We thought the same thing for Tory, right? And look what happened to Tory. So, real talk. And I'm just saying how the court seems to be going. It seems to be going, not saying like super in his favor, but it seems like, anyway, we going to get to the facts because who cares about my opinion? Right? Who cares about my opinion? We're going to start with day 1, okay? Look, I got some pictures up here to entertain you guys, man. I don't know which is day 1 and day 2, but I keep you guys entertained, and I just scroll through them. You know what I'm saying? So, day 1 was opening statements. Day 1 was May 12th, 2005. Opening statements. They revealed the alleged abuse. So prosecutors alleged that Combs used his power to force his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, into unwanted sexual acts and victimized employees through their threats and assaults, right? That was number 1. And then the defense claimed that that the relationships were consensual and they were like kind of toxic, right? They were toxic relationships, and they labeled the accusations as kind of like financially motivated, right? It was like, they're really just looking for money. They got some money, but then they couldn't go back on it, right? So that's kind of like day 1. Day 1 was really all about that. That was May 12th. Day 2 was May 13th. So Cassie Ventura took the stand on day 2. That's how crazy it got. Like, we was like, oh, man, it's going down. But that was just day 2. They got her over with early, you know what I'm saying? So she testified to a decade of abuse, right? Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, testified about enduring 11 years of physical abuse and forced participation in degrading acts and blackmail. That's what she accused. And then shortly after that, Kid Cudi alleges retaliation that when Sean Combs claimed that Kid Cudi claims that Sean Combs had something to do with his car getting blown up, right? It was a Porsche. It was crazy. So that was day 2. Day 3 was May 4th, 2025. And then one of the former assistants alleges rape and assault. So former assistant testifying anonymously as Mia, but we all figured out who she was online. But she alleged that Combs raped and assaulted her during her employment. She also alleged that he had a gun. He ran up in her spy. He was just like, yo, we going to get this Kid Cudi. You know what I'm saying? And then a stylist described hiding from Combs, and Ventura's former stylist testified that he and Ventura, they did like too many times. They fought too many times to count, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Or they hid too many times. I apologize. Sorry, I read that wrong. But they hid too many times to count from Combs, right? So they were really trying to avoid him. All right, this is the list I made up. So this is day 3, allegedly. I feel like it went a little extra. But day 4, security guard testifies to bribery. So the hotel security guard came through on day 4, and he testified that Combs paid him $100,000 to suppress the evidence in the video showing that he was assaulting you know who, Cassie, right? So the judge denies the mistrial request because right off the rip, they was just like, yo, this is a mistrial, judge. He already took some money. He's in on it. That's what I'm thinking. But the judge says it's rejected, and the defense said, I think this is really a mistrial, judge, but he allowed the trial to proceed, right? All right. So that was day 4. Day number 5. Dawn Richards testifies on Combs' behavior. So she's a Danny DeCane member, and she just said, he was like off the hook. He did this and that. I think she talked about drugs, and then the evidence of cash and drugs was presented. They try to present like evidence that he had cash, drugs. So I guess this is working towards, their whole RICO thing. Even though it's a one-man RICO, it's still, evidence, right? So federal allegations presented evidence of cash and drugs found in Combs' hotel room. So they try to tie the cash and drugs together, but you find cash and drugs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're like running some kind of drug enterprise and you're like, knowing, his stature, that was absolutely probably personal use. So I don't understand that. But that was day 5. Day 6, it says Capricorn Clark got on the stand, and she threats. She describes the threats, right? So she's a former assistant, and she's testified that he threatened her and others, creating, a bad climate for, I guess, the work environment because she was working for him. Allegations of kidnapping because she alleged that he kidnapped her on one occasion, further highlighting his abusive behavior. I don't know what classifies as kidnapping, but I guess if you take somebody without their will, is enough, right? That makes sense, right, y'all? All right. So day 7, which is May 20th, escort testifies about the freak offs. He testified that he organized, drug fueled sex parties. I mean, they keep saying that, but I don't know how much he talked about it. But it was multiple women. Obviously, he also said that, so it might have been Cassie and somebody else. And that was just day 7. It's still early in the game, right? So, and the other bullet point is testimony on coerced participation, right? The escort details how women were coerced into participating in these events, often under the influence of drugs, per his perspective. But it is what it is. It is a perspective, and that's up to the jury to decide. Day 8. Then this is May 21st. Federal agent testifies on searches. So the federal agent got on the stand and he talked about the searches he conducted on Combs' property, and he uncovered evidence supporting trafficking charges. So I didn't get that much details on that, but I should have because, that's where the charges try to stick, right? Trafficking. Evidence of surveillance presented, right? The agent presented evidence that Combs used surveillance to monitor and control victims. So we all know he had cameras, and so I don't know if that counts as surveillance. I don't know if there was hidden cameras / kind of surveillance because these things were in hotels. So I don't know what other cameras he might have had set up. But of course, if he's doing something in his his private space, he might have cameras, and I don't know if that goes against the law to have cameras in your own property. I'm just being honest. I don't know what's going on here. You know what I mean? I'm giving you guys the bullet points, and you guys will be the jury to kind of figure out how you want, right? So that was day 8. Right? So day 9 is testimony on financial control. So witnesses testified that Combs used financial means to control his victims, including paying for their housing and expenses. I mean, listen, that's what it says. You can think about that how you want because they're saying it was control that he did that. I'm sure the defense is going to say he did it out the good kindness of their heart. He wanted to be paying for their loyalty and, whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what that would be what the defense should say. But they're absolutely, they made their point to say this is what happened, and then allegations of isolation. So the testimony indicated that he isolated his victims from his friends, family, and just to maintain control of them, I guess, right? So, yeah, those are the facts. Um, Day 10 was May 23rd, right? So defense challenges witness credibility. So defense cross-examined witness attempted to challenge their credibility and and motivations for testifying. Because I believe this is when we found out that the person testifying might have met with the defense a few times, right? And then a discussion of consent. So the defense argued that the relationship and activities were consensual, right? Presenting text messages as evidence. So it's like, this is no one forced you to do this, is what they're saying. Day 11 says, day 11 is May 26, 2025. Testimony on oh, okay. I just want to make sure I was streaming. All right, cool. I don't know why I thought I wasn't streaming, but testimony on emotional manipulation, right? You know what? I don't see none in the chat right now, so I'm gonna keep going. I probably should refresh it. Here we go. Select the stream. Refresh, bang. All right, cool. Yeah, we live. I can see the chat if y'all chatting up. All right, here we go. So we on day 10, right? May 23rd. They challenges witness credibility and then discussion of consent. All right, then we got to day 11, May 26th, right? So it says here that testimony of emotional manipulation happened on this day, right? It was like, he manipulated me emotionally. Hold on. 1 second, I'm back with y'all. I don't know what day I was on. May 26th, right? Yeah, okay, here we go. This is day 11, May 26th. Psychological manipulation allegation. Witness says Combs emotionally manipulated them via gifts and affection. Right? That's what they say he did. Relation claims emerged. So plaintiffs claim that Combs retaliated against those who attempted to, separate from him. Like he didn't want you to leave him unless he wanted to leave you. Right? So May 27th is day 12. Capricorn Clark, she returns to testify. She provided a deeper testimony on threats and harassment on Combs. And then the defense had some questions for her motives, right? They was all like, well, what are your motives? Were they just money? And it turns out he wasn't paying them more than like $100,000, but I feel like hopefully they were getting more than that. Because like the thing said she was making like, well, obviously this was back then too. This is not like recently. But also, I don't think she was even making 100 bands working for him back then. So that's kind of crazy. But after the defense questions her motive, they suggested that she may have like financial incentives, right? So day 13, escort witness expands the allegations, detailed testimony about coerced sexual acts under substance use. So, another freak off, pretty much. I'm just being honest. So prosecution links drug use to trafficking. That's what the prosecution's supposed to do. Evidence suggests that Combs supplied substances during events, even though he was. I was gonna say what I was gonna say is even though he was just sharing, right? But like that's me. That sounds like I'm being biased, right? But like if they're proving that if he bought drugs and then he supplied drugs, whether he was just like, yo, I'm not, here, just, I'm not selling it to you, but like he supplied drugs, that's part of the whole RICO, what they're saying. It's part of the whole sex, drug trafficking, and stuff like that. So, day 14, right? This is 14 days into the trial. You see all the stuff I said, and I'm just reading two sentences, right? This is crazy, right? So, day 14. This is 2 weeks into the trial. We got detailed surveillance testimony. Witnesses described Combs use of cameras to monitor intimate encounters. But we all knew that. Like we learned that early. Like yeah, he would record them. He would record them with his phone, with camera. Like okay, that's cool. Physical abuse accounts emerge on that same day, and more accumulated accounts of Combs' physical violence surfaces. Right, like they, more physical stuff. He beat up, I guess, a couple people because he was mad at the time. Day 15th is May 30th, right? So we're at the end of May. This started early May, so we're getting almost into 3 weeks into this trial, right? 3 weeks or a month into this trial. This trial's been going on for just about over a month right now, right? So day 15 though, and you gotta figure out day 15. You got 5 business days, including any kind of holidays or whatever, right? So it's like at least 5 days. So 15 is at least 3 weeks, right? If you're just counting 5 days a week. So day 15 is like 3 days a week. So now we got day 16, right? Oh wait, what was 15? Oh, day 15 was crazy. It was the alleged brainwashing by Combs. So his former assistant Mia, who was being cross-examined, she testified that she was brainwashed by him, like she was mesmerized or something like that. Because brainwashed, that's what it sounds like. I don't think like Diddy had like no like thing to turn it and make you dizzy. So brainwashed, I don't know, like you had to do what I had to do. She didn't say he forced him. She said he brainwashed her, which is the part that's like, that word is kind of crazy. And the defense pointed out that her ongoing communication as contradictory evidence, right? Because she was still like hitting him up, like she was still cool with him, even though she said he did these horrible things with her. So all right, so that was day 15. That's like 5 days, 3 times, right? So in and out of court, crazy for Diddy. Day 16, Mia's testimony concludes, right? Like, this is her testimony. She reiterated claims of abuse, emphasizing Combs' psychological dominance and defense challenges via social media posts. They introduced online activity to question those allegations, such as, like, a birthday post saying how much she loves him. All right? Day 17. Day number 17. June 3rd, right? So this is the end of May. This is a new month. It's still going on. June 3rd. So security guard details bribery attempt. Confirmed Combs tried to pay and hide assault footage, right? He was all like, yeah, let's make this go away. I don't know what that means about a RICO, but I feel like that's like, just because it's federal, they're going to be like, yeah, that could stick. But I'm like, yo, come on, who doesn't do something like that, right? Like, people get in the act. Anyway, I was going to say, people get in, like, fender benders and be like, hey, man, I'll just pay for that damage. Anyway, but on that same day, the defense rejected bribery narrative, claimed that the payment was unrelated to the alleged assault. So, like, he paid him for something else. He didn't pay him for the assault. You know what I mean? That's kind of like a dope way to, like, handle it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, I know you did this for me, but, yo, you know what? Here's that money you needed to get your house fixed. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm bugging right now. You're right. All right, day number 18. June 4th. Brianna Bongolan. She testified of the balcony assault. She's the one that said he hung her from like the balcony, right? She said Combs held her over a hotel balcony, but then she said she couldn't remember it. She didn't know when it was, right? And the jury deliberated the timeline announcement, and judge indicated that the jury could be in deliberations as early as maybe next week. There's all like, all right, yeah, we've heard a lot. Hey guys, just so you know, maybe next week. But also with that same fact, I remember. If I remember right, the defense was like, hey, you know what I mean? He wasn't even around there. He was in this place, like, and there's pictures to prove it. So that was day 18th, June 4th. Day 18, yeah, June 4th, right? All right, so we got a few more days to go. Hold on, let me find them. Next day, June 5th, 2025, no major court testimony was recorded. This was a recess day, and they were planning and kind of getting stuff together. The prosecution was preparing their final witness, so it was coming to an end soon. So then the weekend came. That was Friday, right? The weekend came Monday, June 9th. Prosecution wraps up Jane's testimony. Jane was a former girlfriend, which was supposed to be 50's baby mama, Jane Doe. You know what I mean? She went crazy. Like, her and the lawyers had, like, back and forth. Like, it was crazy. But they wrapped up Jane's testimony, right? She said like she had like a 5-day encounter, freak off, drugs, fuel, freak off, stuff like that. But she said a lot of stuff. All right, June 10th, 2025. Detailed freak off description continues from Jane Doe. Physical impact, including 2023 altercation where he roughed her up apparently, and she got some injuries. And that continued for like a whole week because June 11th, she got cross-examined. The defense attorneys challenged her emotional and informational recall because she changed her statement a couple times, apparently, allegedly. June 12th, distant crack pipe voice note revealed. So a voice message. Oh yeah, that's what Diddy was all like. Yeah, my crack pipe. You know what I mean? I feel like he just saying he was addicted to her. Obviously, like that's like the reference. Anybody that knows bars know that. I don't think he was dissing her. I don't think it meant anything other than like he was addicted to her, which I would think that would work in his favor if anything. Like she wasn't addicted to him, he was addicted to her. So I don't know how that works. And then we're getting to like the current because now it's June 23rd, 2005. That's when Kanye tried to appear in the courtroom and he arrived, attempted to try to get entry, but ended up viewing the proceedings from an overflow room during a significant media altercation, right? Oh, well, not altercation, but a significant media presence or attention, right? Because Ye's in the building. Then they brought up juror misconduct. There was a debate about it. The defense raised some claims about like potential bias because the defense is like, oh, well, he's a black guy. You guys are trying to get him off stage or off the jury. But of course, they have like backup jurors. But that happened, and then that was June 13th. What happened? 13th. Oh, okay. Now, on the 16th, bang, the juror got dismissed for lying about their residency. I guess they didn't live where they say they live. You know how people got the address that's not their address? I mean, you live your life like that, but technically you would be lying if you went on a jury and said, yeah, I live there. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a technicality, but they had to get rid of your ass, and that's a win for the goddamn prosecution. And you know what? The defense probably knew that or didn't care, and I don't know how the prosecution kept digging to get that, but that's crazy. And then also on that day, the judge issues a stern gag order warning to the jury, right, to everyone. It was all like the judge said he was reprimanding both sides for leaking sealed proceedings and information like that. He was tight, apparently. And then on the 17th, jurors watched freak-offs, right? The 17th. What is today? The 17th. We got to the end of the list. Today they got to watch porno videos, right? They got to watch all those porno videos today. Right? So they watched some freak off for like 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes of freak off evidence accompanied by related text and hotel evidence. Judge signals deliberations could begin next week, as he did the week before, like, dude, you know what I mean? Let them do their thing. I feel like the judge was rushing a couple times because there was a couple times I feel like he was telling the defense to hurry up. I don't know if it was, I wasn't in the building. Maybe they was just asking the same questions and trying to make it seem like crazy. But anyway, I know that happened. And then that's pretty much it, y'all. That is what is the update with this Diddy stream. I mean, it was a crazy. It's still going on. I need y'all in the comments right now. Is Diddy gonna take a L or a W? I just need a L or a W in the stream. Is Diddy taking a L or is he taking a W? Which one is he doing? Is Diddy taking a L or is he taking a W? I need y'all in the comments right now. Just type in the letter, the L or the W, the L or the W. That's all I need y'all to do. Me personally, I feel like he's gonna take a bit of a L and a bit of a W, right? I feel like they're gonna try to get him on something. Like, if he gets off on everything, that'll be crazy. If he gets off on time served, like he gets a count, but also it could be time served and it could be probation, that'll be great. I think he'd love that, right? If he gets probation, federal probation for like, what, a couple years, 2? Even if it's 5 years, I think he'll take it. Even if it's 10 years, I think he'll take it, federal probation. I don't know, y'all. I forgot to play my theme music today, man. I had it ready right here. I'm actually looking at it. Like, damn, I didn't even play it. That's crazy. It's okay. I don't need to play it. But, yo, thanks y'all for watching the stream, man. Much love, man. It was like a quick 30-minute stream real quick. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? We got through all the details of the Diddy case, man. You know what I'm saying? So, tell a friend to subscribe. You know what I mean? Much love, man. I see y'all when I see y'all. All right? We out of here.